and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about how can Manchester United play with Donny van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes in the same team, in the same starting lineup, all the different ways Manchester United can line up with Donny van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes. I'm also going to be including Paul Pogba in most of these lineups as well, so really how can Donny van de Beek, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes all kind of line up together. I think what we've noticed from the last few fixtures is, especially that Newcastle one where Donny van de Beek comes on and 10 minutes later we score 3 goals, is that Donny van de Beek can well in fact play with Bruno Fernandes, and Donny van de Beek actually needs to be played with Bruno Fernandes. When I did my past videos about how Man United could line up with Donny van de Beek, I almost talked about Donny van de Beek as a reserve for the Bruno and Pogba position as bench depth. But what we've seen with Donny van de Beek, is when he plays with the good players, the intelligent players, we just play so well, we move the ball about so well, because Donny van de Beek himself is an intelligent player that's really good at finding pockets of space and quick passing. For example, you know, when we played Brighton in the Carabao Cup, Donny and Mata played together. When we put some of the first teams on, like Rashford and Greenwood, Donny, Mata, Rashford, Greenwood, boom, 3 goals, like wow. Donny van de Beek comes on against Crystal Palace, gets a goal. Donny van de Beek keeps the ball in, that wins the corner against Brighton, which gets the penalty, which Bruno gets the ball. Donny van de Beek comes on against Newcastle and changes the game, basically. And that is because Donny van de Beek is an intelligent player. And we've learnt from these games that Donny needs to play with Bruno, because we've seen Donny against Luton with, you know, the reserve team. But when you put Donny with the good, intelligent players, because obviously Donny's a good, intelligent player, like Mata, Bruno, Pogba, they're just working the ball around so well. So I'm going to be looking at loads of different ways that Bruno and Donny van de Beek can play together in this video, and then looking at ways that Bruno, Donny and Pogba can kind of play together, and how can Bruno and Donny van de Beek play together, how can they line up, how can Solskjaer set up Manchester United, etc. So if you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see Donny van de Beek start versus PSG and you think you really want to just see Donny van de Beek start, hit that like button and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. And yeah, share this video with your friends, and let's get into it. So the lineup here you can see on the screen, it seems to be Solskjaer's kind of first choice preferred lineup over the last couple of months. This is sort of the lineup he normally goes with, and as you can see, there's no Donny van de Beek in that, and a lot of people are arguing like we need to drop Pogba and put Donny van de Beek in. Now Pogba is a world-class player, but you know what, I don't think he's quite fit enough right now, and I do believe that maybe we do drop Pogba and play van de Beek for a game or two. So to do that, the easiest way to play Bruno and Donny van de Beek together would be drop Pogba and put Donny van de Beek in that Pogba role. However, we know Pogba is a world-class player and we know what Pogba can do. And the one thing about Paul Pogba is when he plays with good players around him, and when Man United are playing well, the world-class Pogba normally shows up. So, you know, some of the formations they're going to be looking at after this will involve Donny van de Beek, Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. But the good thing about Donny van de Beek is he played a lot of games as the box-to-box midfielder for Ajax, hence why he's sort of going in the Paul Pogba role. But he actually played a lot of games as a number 10. He's almost kind of like a number 8. He's a midfielder that can sort of play CDM, CM, CAM, but he's very good at sort of getting forward, finding those pockets of space, almost in the opposition's box, and actually piping up some goals. Like he kind of just appears and like boom, Donny van de Beek scored. He's just really intelligent at reading the game, finding space and playing the ball quickly, and he's much better going forward, hence why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer probably sees van de Beek as more of a number 8. The good thing about Bruno Fernandes is, again, Bruno Fernandes is quite flexible. Like Donny van de Beek, he can play sort of all across the midfield, but obviously he's better than the number 10 role. So you could almost play Bruno a little bit deeper, maybe in that Pogba role, and actually play van de Beek ahead. So that is probably the most simple way you could put Donny van de Beek in, but that would result in dropping Paul Pogba, and with recent form, maybe yes, drop Paul Pogba, but he was good in the international duty, he was decent when he came on, and I don't think Ole plans on dropping Paul Pogba. And although I am a big fan of the 4-3-3, I think with the midfielders we have, there are actually multiple ways we could line up with Donny van de Beek, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. That second goal versus Newcastle, where Donny plays it, and then I think it goes to Bruno, then to Mata, then to Rashford, then the Bruno goal, amazing. If I could put that goal in this video, I would, but I get copyrighted. But that goal to make it 2-1 versus Newcastle and the Bruno Fernandes finish was beautiful. Watch that goal back and just see that, just such a good play, oh my god. So the first one I've gone with is the most popular concept, and it starts with split strikers of Rashford and Martial. You could always play Greenwood as a split striker as well. I guess there's Cavani now. I mean, you could even use Dan James. So split strikers of Rashford and Martial. I think our two strongest split strikers would be Rashford and Martial. And then it's gone with Donny van de Beek sort of in that cam attacking role, with Bruno Fernandes as sort of the left centre mid, and then Paul Pogba as the right centre mid, and then Matic in that like holding position. But it would kind of be like Donny, Bruno, Pogba, Matic. So Donny van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes would sort of have the more attacking responsibilities. Pogba would be a deep line playmaker, and Matic would be almost the shield CDM to sort of just protect the defence. You could almost put Fred in that role, that Matic role, because Fred is an engine. I do think that Tom and I would be better as a box-to-box than a CDM, but that's just my personal preference. Now, the thing about Donny van de Beek is when he kind of came on versus Newcastle, he came on for Dan James, and he almost sort of went to the left a little bit. And you know how like Mata's sort of a central player but can go to the right? I think Donny van de Beek's a central player that goes to the left. Obviously, he's not a left winger, you know, but he has that ability to almost play as a wide attacking midfielder. So you could almost do a 4-2-2 with Bruno, Donny van de Beek, sort of as Bruno as a wide right attacking midfielder, Donny as a wide left attacking midfielder, and obviously Pogba and probably Matic in behind. This would be like the 4 kind of 2-2 formation, if you get what I mean. They sort of share that cam role, but they go slightly wide. They're not as wide as the winger, but they're not completely central. And that actually helps us get wider, move the ball wider. And I think with Manchester United, when we play out from the back and we don't get the ball wide and we don't move the ball quick enough, we can't get the ball up to the attack. But I think, you know, the problem with playing maybe the 4-1-2-1-2 sort of more narrow formation that I showed a minute ago is maybe it's not wide enough. If you play Donny and Bruno a little bit wider, it'll be quicker to move the ball up the pitch. That's the 4-2-2. That again implements Pogba. I have used Matic because he seems to sort of be Ollie's first choice, but you could play Fred or McTominay in that Matic role. Hence, even with Luke Shaw, you can put Tellers in there. I've just gone with Luke Shaw because we haven't actually seen Tellers play, although I'd probably pick Tellers myself. Another formation we could do, and I don't expect to see this one, but I think it's quite an interesting concept. It's like the 4-4-1-1, where Donny almost plays as a second striker. A lot of the times when he's come on as a sub, he's almost been like a centre forward, so it'd be Martial, then Donny behind him, Rashford on the left, Greenwood or even Mata on the right. I've just gone with Mata just to, you know, a few people want to see a bit more of Mata, and we don't know when Greenwood's back from injury. And then you've got Bruno sort of just behind Donny van de Beek, and then you've got Matic as the CDM. Again, this drops Pogba, but Pogba could go into that Bruno role, or Pogba could come off the bench and have an impact. You know, I think with Paul Pogba, Donny van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes, playing them as a free can be done, but if we're playing 3 midfielders, it's a little bit harder because none of them are really CDMs. I think if we're playing a team that is going to be really defensive and, you know, going to part the bus, then I actually think then go with Pogba, Bruno, Donny. But I don't think we'd actually play them in a midfield 3 together because none of them are CDMs. I think, you know, it'll always be a Matic or a Fred or a McTominay, and 2 of them if we play like a 4-3-3. But I think if we play with a midfield 4, or we try and change the formation a bit, there's different ways Ollie can play all 3 of them together. So as you can see, there are a load of concepts about how can Manchester United play with Bruno Fernandes and Donny van de Beek in the same starting 11 in the same midfield. I did a few formations because I wanted to include Pogba in. Now let me know in the comment section down below, what is your ideal Manchester United sort of midfield? Would you want to play the 4-1-2-1-2, have Donny, Bruno and Paul Pogba all play together? Do you think Pogba should be dropped for Donny van de Beek? Do you want to see Donny van de Beek in the 10 role or the box-to-box role? What's your ideal formation? Like, what's your ideal lineup for Manchester United this season? Yeah, hit that like button if you want to see Donny van de Beek and Paul Pogba play together. Subscribe down below if you're new. Share this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.